Free speech is at the forefront of our nation's conversation right now, and it's also one of the key principles of a new school, the University of Austin. UATX opened in 2023 with a commitment to intellectual freedom, open inquiry, and civil disclosure.
Steve Doocy got a chance to visit the school and talk to students and faculty. Good morning, Steve.
Good morning, LJ and Ainsley and Brian. That's right. How many times on this program in the last couple of years have we talked about the trouble in America's campuses? What are they doing? Are they educating or indoctrinating? Well, there's this place that you were just talking about, the University of Austin, down here in Texas, just getting off the ground, with an emphasis on the truth and free expression. This place seems like exactly the kind of learning place that Charlie Kirk was trying to turn every American campus into. Just watch. Right down the street from the state capitol, right over here in the former Scarborough department store, is the University of Austin. The University of Austin is founded on telling the truth. And the truth is, here, tuition is absolutely free. Now in their second year, there's a freshman class and a sophomore class for a total of about 150. It's attracting students from across the country. And you know what? The DEI page of the school website, it's the Declaration of Independence.
So we're here trying to educate the next leaders of America.
Carlos Caravalho is the newly minted president.
America's next quarter millennium begins here today with you. Welcome to the rebellion.
So when you gave the welcome to the kids to come back to campus, you were talking about rebellion.
What I was trying to tell them is that, here we are celebrating 250 years of the American experiment. And I was going to bring back a notion of defending something that is very rebellious and unusual these days, which is the notion of inequality. The notion that we're not here trying to make everybody equal. We're trying to challenge them.
What is it about this school that has you waking up excited to go to school in the morning?
I wanted to be somewhere where I was challenged, somewhere where I'm seeking truth constantly.
I kind of like the idea of a school that was surrounded by freedom of thought and expression, and one where I could debate with anyone that I wanted to without ostracizing myself.
There's no other university that is as holistically embodying truth and fact and debate.
One of the things the school is all about is the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Teaching the truth, knowing the truth,
pursuing the truth.
Pursuing the truth.
Right.
Does that mean most schools don't do that?
There's a lot of that goes on in the university system. The idea that the rejection of the existence of truth, that everything is relative. That is perhaps the number one reason for the decay of the system that we're trying to now rekindle, is the rejection of the notion of existence of truth, and that we're able to find it through rigorously engaging with ideas. That's what universities used to be all about, and that's what we're trying to recover here.
You just got your PhD from Harvard this past year. Would you, Professor, explain the groupthink at a place like Harvard or all the other places as compared to the University of Austin?
The amount of dissent at a university like Harvard or many other universities is distressingly small, and often distressingly risky as well, especially for students.
It seems like so many big colleges, famous colleges, you come in as a student and it's like, okay, we're going to fill your head with this stuff, and if it's not our way, it's the highway.
Yeah, that's something that I was especially worried about, was just the indoctrination that I was seeing going on.
I think that even students at other schools are getting annoyed of this, and I think that students, and especially Gen Z, are getting smart enough to look through that and to say that this isn't right and it's not authentic.
During orientation week, I mean, we had seminars, and I was hearing things people say that I was like, this would never be allowed at any other school I've been to. From the kids I've talked to,
it's not like everybody's right wing or left wing. I've seen all the wings.
I would agree. Everyone has their different values. Everyone has their different opinions. But at the end of the day, we're American, and that's what we value most.
The only politics at this school that we have is that you bring your politics as long as you're able to argue them. And that's what it is. I mean, I'll sit and I'll have dinner with people who I drastically disagree with on multiple policies and multiple levels.
I think that's something that's missing from universities today, and also I think the United States in general. We're very set in our ways, I guess. I would say that we attach our politics to our sense of self, which makes it very hard to have debate because disagreement can only be seen as a personal attack.
Within the last couple of weeks, terrible news on a college campus with the shooting, assassination of Charlie Kirk.
Dreadful.
He was just doing what you guys do every day.
Yes.
The free expression of one's own opinion.
Yes. Someone like Charlie Kirk had a genuine kind of bravery and physical courage in doing what he did in environments which profess to be open, but are in fact unbelievably hostile to genuine, free and open debate. And it's a tragedy that universities have come to this.
When I heard about it, honestly, the first feeling I felt was I'm proud to be at a place where I don't have to be afraid to share my thoughts and get involved in discourse, get involved in debates.
After Charlie Kirk's assassination, I've really been drawn more towards politics. I had all these thoughts in my head, and I just put them down on a piece of paper, and I started writing an op-ed that was actually published in our student publication, the Austin Beacon. And then I also was like, I'm gonna set up a Charlie Kirk memorial, university-wide. And I just kind of feel like, I don't know, my calling is more towards trying to change minds and create a better America through politics and through speech.
It's exactly what Charlie Kirk was trying to do.
Yeah. He was a big inspiration for me.
You know, if you have somebody in your family who is considering a university where truth and free expression are important, you might want to consider the University of Austin in Austin, Texas. Listen, I wish it was around when my kids were going to college. Here's the thing for parents to also know. The tuition is absolutely free and you get in automatically. I've got the scores, I'm gonna put them up right here. You get in automatically if you've got an SAT score of 1460 or above, an ACT score of 33 or above, or the classical learning test score of 105 and above. You get in automatically. Ainsley, Brian, and Lawrence, it's a fantastic place. And Brian, I know you've been there. They were talking about when you stopped by. It is a great place.
It really is. It's just the beginning. This is going to be their first sophomores. They have their second, the first freshmen. Right. They're going to actually graduate. And I guarantee you, Steve, that building will be a memorial to, I am sure they're going to end up with a sprawling campus. Don't you think?
It's right in the heart of Austin. And it is, there's plenty of room in that building to expand. Right now they had been taking up one floor, now they've taken up 2 floors now that they've got the sophomore class. By the end of the 4 years, don't be surprised if they take over the entire Scarborough building.
And Steve, the buzz in the building is that I did my stand-up in the same place, but I walked backwards. You did the more conventional forwards. So America should vote. Should you walk backwards or forwards when you're introducing the University of Austin?
Well, when you think about it, Brian, when you go with your kids on one of those campus tours, the campus guide always walks backwards.
Yes, thank you.
So if you want to appear to work for the dean of admissions, walk backwards. If you want to appear to be on television, taking somebody into a place, walk forward.
There's the shot. By the way,
go.
you won't be the size of my calves from walking backwards.
Right.
So that's my problem.
Yeah, if it were my dad, he'd be skipping on that campus because tuition was free.
Good to see you, Steve.
That was great. That was great. Thank you, Steve.
Hey, it's Will Kane. Click here to subscribe to the Fox News channel on YouTube. It's the best way to get our latest interviews and highlights. And click to subscribe to the Will Kane podcast for full episodes right now.